Fire destroys aging UPNG dormitory. Police retrace events of a brutal beating. Hundreds flock to Adventure Park for a fun day.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. Samson Ikasa, the man who was charged with the attempted murder of his girlfriend, Monica Nagy, will stand trial at the committal court. Today, members of the Criminal Investigation Division carried out formal investigations. They were led by the victim to the scene of the crime to retrace how the events unfolded. MTV's Sasha Paysilovo with this report.
Investigations into the attempted murder case of Monica Nagy have now begun, with the accused, Samson Ikasa, to stand trial for brutally attacking Miss Nagy on the night of March 19th. Acting on the victim's statement, police investigators were led by Monica to the locations of where she was attacked by Ikasa, going over specific details of the events that occurred on the night of March 19th.
We are just following stories. It's basically like a crime scene indication we are doing this.
According to Detective Joe Puana, it is crucial to obtain all necessary information of the occurrences of the night the crime was committed in order to build a strong case for the courts. Despite Monica being in great pain and needing an aide to help her walk, she summed up the strength to comply with investigators and spoke on camera of her tragic ordeal.
I got in the taxi and he started belting me up in the taxi. I passed out a couple of times and I can't remember most of the things that happened. We got home and he pulled me out of the taxi and threw me on the driveway, and I passed out. I woke up and I was in bed, and he took me to the bathroom and put the shower on, and I felt my skin burning, and so I knew that something was definitely wrong with me. So I went on, got out of the bathroom and I stood in front of the mirror and I saw my face, and that I couldn't recognize myself, my face. I am not feeling safe. I'm actually getting really scared. Most nights when I'm in the hospital, I'm not sleeping.
Sasha Paysilovo, National EMTV News.
Chairman of the Special Parliamentary Committee on Public Sector Reform and Service Delivery and member for Goroka, Bire Kimisopa, said proper analysis is needed to address deficiencies in the local manufacturing sector. He made the comments in response to pleas by the Manufacturers Council of Papua New Guinea for firms to buy local. CEO of the Manufacturers Council of PNG, Shay Scovell, reportedly suggested that the solution to the current foreign exchange problem was simple: just buy local.
Mr. Kimisopa agreed that buying local would reduce the need for foreign exchange. However, he said that the solution is not so simple.
I see the Manufacturers Council making this urgent plea rather ill-conceived. They need to step back. And in a time like this, it's an opportunity for the companies who are truly PNG companies to stand up. The so-called PNG-made companies, they're also importing as well, so they're putting significant pressure on the foreign exchange. So my take on this issue is to encourage the Manufacturers Council to look within rather than making a clarion call to the public and asking the public, consumers especially, to buy locally.
Mr. Kimisopa said that for a buy local campaign to be effective, requires products to be actually manufactured in PNG. He said quality has to be of standard and the manufactured product must be competitively priced against its overseas competitor.
Because at this point in time, it's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult when They are cheaper products made of a higher quality. The reliability of supply is there. And at the end of the day, it's our consumers who will demand the kind of products they want.
He said that until the preconditions can be met by PNG suppliers, they will have difficulty selling their products locally. Mr. Kimisopa said that what the Manufacturers Council should be doing is assisting its members meet the expectations of buyers. He said proper analysis of issues is required and plans developed by the industry to address deficiencies before consumers can gladly buy local. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
Knowledge of parliamentary procedures has been acknowledged as a crucial factor in ensuring the success of Bougainville's House of Representatives. Speaker of Bougainville's House of Representatives, Simon Pentano, made these remarks during a recent induction workshop for members of Bougainville's parliament. Facilitated by the United Nations, the workshop provided an opportunity for the autonomous region's elected representatives to learn processes involved in developing legislation, as well as the roles of various parliamentary committees.
Members of the autonomous region of Bougainville's House of Representatives met in Buka this week to undergo an induction program. Facilitated by the United Nations, the workshop provided an opportunity for members to be informed of the various parliamentary processes as well as the roles of the different parliamentary committees. According to Speaker Simon Pentano, the opportunity presented to the members was important, especially given the fact that this is only the third Bougainville House of Representatives since its inception in 2005.
I think it's a useful aspect of giving some background information, some training, some induction to not just our members, but any parliament in the Pacific.
Similar sentiments were shared by the autonomous region's president.
They represent the aspirations, the real needs of their constituents, and when they are well informed and encouraged and enlightened, of course they play their role effectively, and of course it enhances their ability to represent their constituents.
The United Nations, through the Peace Building Fund, took the lead in facilitating this workshop, and its program coordinator, Lawrence Bassi, was indeed pleased with the outcomes.
This induction workshop came as a result of a needs assessment mission that was done in October last year, where consultations were widely held with the Bougainville House of Representatives at the highest echelons, as the Speaker and the Secretariat, and they asked for this kind of workshop. Basically, I think this is the first in a series of peace building fund activities, for both Bougainville and the national government, where, of course, we are here to help build capacity of the parliamentarians in terms of parliamentary processes, practices, and norms, etc., by bringing in experts from other parliaments and other jurisdictions to actually come in and create a platform where they could freely exchange views and experiences on how proceedings in Parliament, especially standing orders and all of those things, could be achieved.
Serious concerns about aging infrastructure at the University of Papua New Guinea have been raised by the university's heads after a dormitory went up in flames last night. The fire destroyed the 36-cubicle dormitory at around 7 p.m. last night. UPNG Vice-Chancellor, Professor Albert Melam, says the cause of the fire is yet to be established.
An eyewitness says the fire started at around 7 p.m. in one of the rooms upstairs. Many occupants of the dormitory were out when the fire started. 15 minutes after, the 36-cubicle dormitory that houses the first-year students was engulfed by large flames. Fire officers from Gerewu and Waigani stations arrived at the scene few minutes after. They did their best to contain the fire, but it was out of control. Few students managed to remove whatever belongings they can, but many have lost their properties to fire. No one was injured. Over 70 displaced students were transferred to the new Games Village as of last night for temporary shelter. The cause of the fire is yet to be established. UPNG Vice-Chancellor Professor Albert Melam is calling for help from the city residents and business houses.
I would like to appeal to the nation and in particular the National Capital District for donation in cash and kind to the students who have lost what little possession they have. I should stress many of our students come from very less fortunate backgrounds.
Those willing to help can call the university's public relations unit on the numbers shown on the screen.
And that's where the appeal for anyone out there to assist those students. We will document what they have lost to assist in being able to get them back on their feet so that their studies are interrupted as least as possible.
The fire last night has exposed the aging infrastructure of the school. Nearly all the dormitories, excluding the games village, the lecture rooms and staff houses, were built some 50 years ago.
Maintenance for UPNG was not a priority. We have not received a single grant or maintenance grant from government over the last 3 years.
It will cost over 60 million kina to fix the infrastructure, including sewage and electricity connections.
There is the vulnerability for the electrical fittings in the university mess, students' mess. And our electrical audit, they gave the indication that the library is also not fit for use, and it is a high-risk area.
They are calling on the government to build new infrastructure and provide maintenance grants. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. The increase in waterborne diseases recorded at the Tokarara Clinic in Port Moresby is said to be linked to the low supply of water into the June Valley suburb. At least 200 families in June Valley have been living without water for 5 days now. This has resulted in children staying away from school and families going to bed without taking a proper shower.
In Port Moresby and Lae cities has been attributed to the increase in rural to urban drift. But what families in June Valley are facing is a bigger issue, as they claim it is ongoing since the 1980s. Anthony Benedict and his family have been living here for over a decade. For the Benedicts, the storing of water is an important daily chore.
Now they know I'm same thing now. We can get them from past now. And by go 7 o'clock or 6 now and by open again.
The Benedicts were preparing a welcome meal for a relative when EMTV News arrived at their house. Tina Jo, Benedict's wife, and her aunt were using the little amount of water they collected last night to prepare the meal.
Sometimes I'll go to school, sometimes I'm also stop lo house. So time me play refill me a me plus a cook long me plus a stop us go 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, waraka, me plus a use him wara. So time now me play use me and finish me plus basta posem go.
About 1 kilometer away, some families are doing the same, waiting for the water to return so they can cook or do laundry. But for these families, the situation can get worse because the water rarely ever comes. Thus, family resort to fetching water from an underground water source.
Water, I'll get a pipe to go rust in the bagrap. So, me blog in lost him. How many years am I in since 1980? She come now, so you estimate him? I think it's more than 30 or something years him go finish. Well, man may facing problem, but almost a complaint to us. Me blog stop so one really water me blog simlo containers me blog come store him na me blog cook na me blog kai.
But while Edarano is yet to give an official response to the situation, families here will wake up tomorrow to face the same challenge. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Teachers in Middle Ramu, Medang, will soon have homes to live in. This was announced by Middle Ramu MP Tommy Tomskol, who presented a cheque for more than 490,000 kina to the PNG Forest Authority to build kit homes. This initiative will fall in line with the soon-to-be-constructed Kovon High School to replace the Simbai High School. Landowners in Kovon have agreed for the land to become state land for the proposed infrastructure, which will benefit 30,000 people within the area.
On behalf of the authority, I am presenting a check of amount of 490,600 kina to PNG Forest Products to supply 8 kit homes, 6 of which will go towards teachers' house. 1 will go towards accommodating the coffee industry corporation manager in the district, and the other house will go to the Cocoa Board of Papua New Guinea, where an officer of the board will work in the district. That also spells out the priority of development in my district and underpins the kind of growth and the kind of future I would like my district to walk towards.
Port Moresby residents were out in numbers today to try their luck in fishing at the Adventure Park. The Adventure Park's fishing competition attracted families, students, seasoned fishermen and youngsters who there to hook a tagged fish. Prizes ranged from 100 kina to 5,000 kina for a tagged fish.
The fishing competition was held under perfect weather conditions. Park manager Corey Mond said the competition is worth 30,000 kina with 63 fishes all tagged with different colors and different cash prizes.
The fishing competition, one fish pool day, and all family, friends around the city residents all come out. We enjoy straight away.
Participants sat on all sides of the pond to try their luck. Many waited for hours, hoping for the best.
When I'm fishing side, I'm fishing na fishing na kam sin bait bla.
The competition started at 9 a.m. Others had no luck, only catching fishes with no tags, while some stopped fishing and enjoyed the company of friends and family at the park.
Apart
from this morning's competition, only 2 fishes were caught, a red tag worth 100 kina and a yellow tag worth 200 kina. The competition will be held every weekend for the month of April. Marilyn Diaukatam, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. After the break, we have Trukai Sports. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Papua New Guinea's most celebrated female athlete, Toya Whistle, is hard at training and focused on the goal ahead, the Rio Olympics. Toya's last big event was the 2015 Pacific Games, in which she won 4 gold and 1 silver. She recently set a national record in the 200 meters in a time of 23.43 seconds at the State Championships in Canberra, Australia.
In October last year, she started working with Australian coaches Tony and Alison Fairweather, who have helped with her technique and speed endurance, while also offering personal support to help build a stress-free, happy environment. She is working towards meeting the Olympic qualifying time of 11.32 seconds for the 100-meter event, and isn't far off after consistently coming in the 11.4 second range in recent events. Toya's determination and commitment to continually improving herself and pushing herself is paying off. Toya burst onto the international athletics stage after her efforts, where she impressed the then President Tony Green with her performance in the 400-meter sprint. In April 2013, Whistle became the first ever Papua New Guinean to hold an Australian national track title when she claimed the 100 meters in Sydney. She achieved fantastic results at the Pacific Games 2015, gold in the 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter and 4x400 meter, and silver in the 4x100 meter. Elijah Levitt, National MTV Sports.
Following the National Softball Championships over Easter, tomorrow the Port Moresby men's softball will begin their knockout matches of the competition. Big matches are expected to kickstart the finals as teams gear up for a strong finish. Today saw the women's competition continue their round-robin matches as they still run 3 rounds behind the men before they head into the finals. And that ends Trukai Sports. We'll have for you the weather details when we come back.
Trukai Sports.
True Kai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region, mostly fine in Port Moresby and fine weather in Daru, Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momase region, mostly fine in Lei, Wau and Madang and fine weather in Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, fine in Kavieng, Kimbe and Buka, a shower or two in Lorengau, Kokopo and Rabaul. And finally in the Highlands region, mostly fine in Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabag. And before we go, recapping our main stories tonight. Fire destroys aging UPNG dormitory, police retrace events of a brutal beating, and hundreds flock to Adventure Park for a fun fishing day. And that's the way it is this Saturday, the 2nd of April 2016. From the EMTV News team, I'm Mary Batulo. Enjoy your weekend. Good night.